Okay, really quickly. So I was out. My husband and I were coming back on Sunday with bringing mums to the house because I like flowers. And there were some Tim Kaine volunteers canvassing the neighborhood. And we were outside and we saw them walk down our neighbor's driveway. And I overheard them introduce themselves to our neighbors who were also outside and said, they said, hey, we're from the Tim Kaine campaign. And then I couldn't hear what else they said. And then they walked a couple minutes later back up the driveway and never acknowledged us.
Ooh.
At all. They didn't say hello. They didn't, nothing. And my husband and I kind of looked at each other and I said, how about that? So I took out my phone just to watch them for a minute to see if they were going to like come back. And we were outside. So I go ahead and I'm like, they never came back. So I took a quick recording on my phone and I said, hey, Tim Kaine, your campaign folks were out here and never engaged us. Were they presumptuous because we were people of color and that we were just voting for them or what? I don't know, but that was not a good look. So I put it on Twitter and to see if the Kaine campaign would get back to me, because you'll be surprised and probably happy to know that I do plan on voting for Senator Kaine this election. It'll be the first time I've ever cast a ballot for a Democrat in a federal election in my entire adult life. Because I cannot, under any circumstances, vote for Corey Stewart, who is a racist and an embarrassment as a Republican. I don't know what the Virginia Republican Party is doing, nominating people like this, but I can't be a part of that. Now, I will vote for Barbara Comstock, but I am not voting for Corey Stewart. I'm voting for Senator Kaine this time. But the fact that his volunteers did not even engage us to say hello, I thought that was awful.
It is. That's very surprising. Maybe they were just like heads in their iPhones looking at the next house or whatever. But yeah, the whole point, the fun part of politics is the person to person. In fact, that's probably like you. It's the first thing I ever did in politics was go door to door.
Sure.
And I'll do that again this weekend. And by the way, pro tip, bring dog biscuits. See, I am a dog person.
Yes.
And you bring dog biscuits and then the dog likes you, the owner likes you. Maybe they'll even like your candidate then.
Well, hey, whatever works, right? You got to draw
I do
them
have
in.
I have a little dad fanny pack, and I put the dog biscuits in there.
Of course you
do. and that's the key. But that is actually really shocking. And I don't know if I can kind of imagine why a person might do that. But they should. Here's free voters right here.
Well, that was my point. And you'd be surprised at the backlash I got on Twitter about this. I mean, people went off on me saying, oh, don't you know about canvassing? They have a list. They probably knew who you were. Your house was probably listed as Republican, so they didn't go there. I said, look, let me tell you something right now. I have canvassed. I've lit dropped. I've done all of that for many, many campaigns since I was 18 years old. I was taught that you don't ever miss an opportunity to engage real live voters.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about that we're like knocking on doors and we were inside and they skipped our house. I get the whole, like, you have a list and you're trying to target certain voters. I understand how that works. We were freaking in our driveway. I overheard them actually comment about the mums that we had in our front yard. So if I was close enough to them to hear them talk about that, there is no excuse. All they had to do was take 5 seconds and say, hey, how y'all doing? Can we count on your vote on November 6th? That's it. I'm not talking about giving like a big dissertation about, this is why you should vote for Tim Kaine. So I can't understand either they took for granted because we're people of color that we were voting for him anyway, which is, part of the problem with Democrats and black folks now as it is. That's a whole nother discussion. Or if they just didn't understand the importance of engaging live voters, just something as simple as, hey, can we count on your vote? Or just remember to vote November 6th. I mean, something. They didn't even say hello.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's not good.
Right.
I think
Thank you very much. That's coming from a professional, folks.
Right. Maybe because they're coming up in an age where everything is based on a screen. But when you have a chance to engage a real voter, particularly, it's one of the 1,000 of Clinton's laws. I should write these down one day and publish a book. One of them is
absolutely.
People won't give you your vote. People will not give you their vote unless you ask for their vote.
Exactly.
And he has trained more politicians. I've been with him, and we're at some event, and there's like the county commissioner candidate, and here she speaks, and he'll pull him aside and say, hey, you forgot to say, please vote for me. I would appreciate your vote. He's like, that's a very sacred exchange. You have to directly ask them. And he's right. And that's what they should have done with you. They should have gone up to you and your husband. Although he's law enforcement, he's a little scary, could be intimidating.
Oh, please, he was unloading moms. Okay.
No, but go up to you guys and say that. Like, we hope you will consider voting for our friend Tim Kaine.
I just want to say,
I still hope you will.
I will. I'm not going to hold it against Tim Kaine. I mean, my vote is more of a protest vote, but that's okay. He's still going to get it. It's not. I don't hold Tim Kaine accountable for that, but I did want to make the point that you've got to do better with your volunteers. For right. It's either if it was presumption, that's no good either, because then it wasn't.
Right.
You just take it for granted. You don't even need to engage us. And if it was that they just were so stuck to a list that they didn't have enough common sense to know to engage a live voter, that's not good either, because then you're so myopic that you lose an opportunity. And if they knew who I was, then they know I'm a friendly Republican. And you know what I'm saying? Even if they did, there's no way. I don't think they did. I had no makeup on and a baseball cap. I highly doubt they were like, oh yeah, no. So I felt that there was no excuse. And Paul Begala, Democrat consultant campaign extraordinaire, agrees with me, everyone. Absolutely. On Twitter.
100% Twitter.
Thank you for that.